This is Catholic Challenge on the Living Bread Radio Network. 16 teams will test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Join us on this journey as we navigate our way from BC to AD and everything in between. Today's defenders of the faith will take up their shield and sword to compete for prize money and a chance to move on to the next round of competition. Are you ready for the challenge? Now, here's your host, Michael Roberts.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Michael Roberts. Today we have two teams that will compete, testing their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Each team is playing for their favorite Catholic charity, and whoever wins today will earn $200 for that charity and the opportunity to advance to the next round. And so today we welcome Zach Laughlin and Ryan Bagley. They are here representing Catholic Rural Life, and also Fred Kramer and Chris Eggert. They are here representing the Knights of Columbus Assembly number 818. So players, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Before we begin our game, though, let's find out how to play. So let's hear the rules right now.
In round one, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 10 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, thank you for that. Catholic Rural Life, you will begin. Captain Zach Laughlin, you'll be the spokesman. And Ryan Bagley, you're also playing along as well. And so, round one begins right now. Question number 1. A bishop oversees what? A county, a diocese, or a district?
A diocese.
Correct, very good. Question number 2. The first glorious mystery of the Rosary is Annunciation, Assumption, or Resurrection?
The resurrection. C.
Correct. Very good. Question number 3. Jesus is a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek, Aaron, or Moses?
What is Melchizedek?
Job well done. All right. Question number 4. Here we go. The last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, was written by who? John, Matthew, or James?
John.
Very good, correct. And question number 5, here we go. True or false, the Liturgy of the Hours is based on the Book of Psalms?
True.
You are correct. And that sound means that you got all 5 answers correct in that round, and so we move on now to the bonus question, again worth 25 bonus points. And here we go. The Blessed Virgin Mary is known as the Queen of Heaven. In Latin, this title is Ave Maria, Regina Caeli, or Stabat Mater.
Regina Caeli.
And you've got a round 1 sweep. Congratulations, Catholic Rural Life. All correct. Your score right now is 75 points. And so we continue on with round 1, and we move on over now to the KFC Assembly 818. Fred Kramer and Chris Eggert. Your round begins right now. Question number 1. What angel spoke to Zechariah, the husband of Elizabeth, as he was performing his priestly duties in the temple? Michael, Raphael, or Gabriel?
Raphael.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. It was Gabriel. Question number 2. The first king of Israel was David, Samuel, or Saul?
Saul.
You got it, correct. Question number 3. The liturgical color worn on Pentecost is red, green, or white?
Red.
That it is. It is red. Question number 4. Here we go. This saint is known as the first Christian martyr. He is also the patron saint of deacons. St. Mark, St. Paul, or St. Stephen?
St. Stephen.
You got it. And finally, question number 5. Here we go. The bishops of the United States of America have designated January 22nd as a day of prayer and remembrance for immigrants, prisoners, or the unborn.
The unborn.
You got it. It was the unborn. And of course, the liturgical color for that day is purple. So at the end of round one, the Knights of Columbus, you've got 40, and Catholic Rural Life, you have 75. It is time now for our first break of the game. When we come back, though, we will meet our contestants. You're listening to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
For over 25 years, St. Raphael Bookstore has been your source for all things Catholic. We offer resources to help you learn and defend the faith. St. Raphael Bookstore, a sponsor of Catholic Challenge, online at catholicbook.net.
3,000 students, 40 states, 35 countries. Their journey for the right college has led them to Walsh University. Where will your journey lead you? Walsh University, a Catholic university of distinction. Online at walsh.edu.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Michael Roberts, and today our competitors are Zach Laughlin and Ryan Begley. They are here representing Catholic Rural Life. And we've got Fred Kramer and Chris Eggert here. They are representing the Knights of Columbus Assembly number 818. Well, let's take a moment now and meet our contestants. We'll begin with Team Catholic Rural Life. Zach Laughlin is the captain. Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there. My name is Zach Laughlin. I am from Canal Fulton, Ohio. I've been a lifetime member of Saints Philip and James Parish. I'm currently a grad student at Walsh University. I'm studying theology, and I'll be graduating hopefully in December. Ryan's just graduated in December with a double major in education and history and a minor in theology. And so I like to say he's a budding theologian and a ragamuffin spiritual master.
Well said. Well, gentlemen, that is awesome. And Zach, take a moment now and tell us a little bit more about Catholic Rural Life. Maybe those who are listening, they don't really know much about the organization. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, it's a little unconventional. I think I stumbled upon it through Facebook, and I'm thankful that I did. It's a national nonprofit organization, obviously, that really is an advocate for the rural life. Interesting point I want to make. It was founded in 1923, originally a conference by Father Edwin O'Hara. Now, many people probably don't know of O'Hara, but they know someone who admires him, and that'd be Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who wrote a biography about him in the 90s, and you can find that on Amazon. But in general, they advocate for ethical food and agriculture, rural outreach and ministry, and as well as stewardship for creation. Well so done. I can get behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great to have you both here. Thanks for playing along. We move over now and talk to our friends with the Knights of Columbus Assembly number 818. Fred Kramer is the captain for that team. Fred, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm in the Knights of Columbus, and so is my partner. Of course, we were both in individual councils. We are joined together in an assembly. Basically, with Knights of Columbus was founded in 1882 by Father Michael J. McGivney. As a means of providing assistance to widows and orphans. Back in the 1800s, there was no Social Security, so it was essential that Father McGivney arranged for Catholic men to form an organization. The fourth degree of the Knights of Columbus, which we belong to the Assembly 818, the fourth degree was added in the late 1800s, and that's the patriotic principle of the order. And as part of patriotism, what our assembly does is to transport people from the Veterans Hospital up in Cleveland to an outing for an evening, a meal, and some games for twice a year. And then we also have turnouts, which is where we have the honor guard present and color guard sometimes at church events. And then for priests, we have the Mass of Thanksgiving, their first Mass back at their home parish, a milestone for a priest. It could be an event for a milestone for a parish.
Yeah. Very good. You've got a little bit of longevity with the Knights of Columbus. I see here 29 years you've been a knight.
I started in 1979. That's correct. It was my freshman year in college.
Yeah, very well. And how do you know Chris? How do you know your teammate here next to you?
Chris and I are both a part of Assembly 818, Monsignor O'Keefe Assembly, which is the umbrella assembly for 7 different councils in the Akron area. And I belong to council number 547, which is the oldest council, the first council in Akron, established in 1900. Chris belongs to number 3410, which is South Akron Council.
All right. Well, Fred, thanks for being with us. Chris, you as well. We continue on now. Our score is Catholic Rural Life 75, and Knights of Columbus, you are behind with 40 points. And we begin now with round 2. But before we do, let's get the rules.
In round 2, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 15 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Catholic Rural Life, you will begin. Zach Laughlin, you are the captain, and round 2 begins right now. Question number 1. The biblical city of Capernaum is on which body of water? The Mediterranean Sea, the Dead Sea, or the Sea of Galilee?
The Sea of Galilee.
You got it, correct. Question number 2. Church documents call this sacrament the source and summit of our faith. Baptism, anointing of the sick, or Eucharist?
The Eucharist.
You got it, correct. Question number 3. Here we go. In 1917, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to 3 peasant children in which town in Portugal? Lourdes, Fatima, or La Salette?
What is Fatima?
You got it. Question number 4. Here we go. After Pilate had Jesus scourged, he brought Jesus out to the crowd and said, "Behold the man." In Latin, this phrase is Ecce homo, Pater Noster, or Cum laude?
What is Ecce homo?
Ecce homo, you got it, correct. Question number 5, here we go. When the sacred host is displayed for Eucharistic adoration, it is displayed in what? A monstrance, a chasuble, or a cruet?
What is a monstrance?
It is indeed a monstrance. And that sound means, well, you got all 5 of those correct, so we move on now to our bonus question, again, worth 25 points. And here we go. In the Gospel of John, chapter 4, Jesus, while on his journey, stops at Jacob's well. He asked the woman at the well for a drink of water. She was an Egyptian, a Jew, or a Samaritan?
She was a Samaritan.
You got it. And a round 2 sweep for you, Catholic Rural Life. Your score is getting even higher here as we continue on with the game. We'll move on now to round number 2 for the Knights of Columbus Assembly, 818. Fred Kramer, captain, and round 2 begins for you right now. St. Ignatius of Loyola is credited with starting the order of Dominicans, Jesuits, or Benedictines.
Jesuits.
Jesuits, Pope Francis's order, absolutely. Question number 2. He advised the Jewish leaders that it would be good if one man died for the people. He was high priest at the time of the crucifixion of Jesus. Herod, Caiaphas, or Caesar?
Caiaphas.
You got it, Caiaphas. Question number 3. She was the mother of Emperor Constantine. She is also known for finding the relic of the true cross. Saint Helena, Saint Monica, or Saint Elizabeth of Hungary?
Saint Monica.
I'm sorry, it was Saint Helena. Question number 4. Saul was knocked off his horse and saw Jesus as a bright light on his way to this city. Joppa, Damascus, or Jerusalem?
Damascus.
Indeed, on his journey to Damascus. And question number 5, here we go. This Sunday feast is the last Sunday of the liturgical year. Christ the King, Easter, or Epiphany?
Christ the King.
Indeed it is, Christ the King. All right, and at the end of round 2, we have a great game going here between the Knights of Columbus Assembly and Catholic Rural Life. And we're almost ready to move into round 3, but before we do, I'd like to take a moment and thank our generous sponsors. These sponsors have provided all the prize monies for our program. We want to give special thanks to Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, Walsh University, and the Knights of Columbus. These great organizations continue to partner with the Living Bread Radio Network to help all of us learn more about the Catholic faith. And so we do say thank you to our sponsors. All right, we move on now to round 3. But before we do, let's get the rules.
In round 3, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 20 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Catholic Rural Life, you once again will lead us off. Zach Laughlin, you are the captain, and round 3 begins right now. In what city were the followers of Jesus first called Christians? Rome, Antioch, or Jerusalem?
What is Antioch?
Antioch it is. Very good. Question number 2. What does the word Pharisee mean? Set apart, holy, or rule giver?
Rule giver.
No, I'm sorry. The correct answer is set apart. Question number 3. What Old Testament prophet was caught up to heaven in a whirlwind instead of suffering death? Amos, Elijah, or Jeremiah?
Who is Elijah?
It was indeed Elijah. Very good. Question number 4. Of what religious crime, punishable by death, was Jesus accused by the Sanhedrin? Calumny, idolatry, or blasphemy?
What is blasphemy?
It was indeed blasphemy. And finally, question number 5. Here we go. In Eastern Rite Catholic churches, a baby receives baptism, Holy Eucharist, and confirmation at the same time. This is called what? Extreme unction, dedication, or chrismation? Need an answer from you.
What is dedication?
I'm sorry, the correct answer was chrismation. And at the end of round number 3, for you, Catholic Rural Life, you have 235 points. The Knights of Columbus Assembly 818, you have 100 points. And round 3 now begins with you, Fred Kramer. Here we go. Question number 1. This early saint was a Roman soldier. He would not renounce Christ and was tied to a tree and shot with arrows. He is also known as the patron saint of athletes, St. Bernard, St. John of the Cross, or St. Sebastian.
St. Sebastian.
It was indeed St. Sebastian. Very good. Question number 2. Here we go. This saint's feast day is sometimes called Midsummer's Christmas. He was the cousin of Jesus who leaped in his mother's womb. St. Joseph, St. John the Baptist, or St. Jude?
St. John the Baptist.
Prepare the way of the Lord. Indeed it was St. John the Baptist. Question number 3. Here we go. This color is worn by the priest at Mass on feasts of martyrs. Purple, green, or red?
Red.
The color red. Very good. Question number 4. Sanctus is a Latin word that means what? Holy, strong, or pure?
Holy.
Holy is the correct answer. Very good. Question number 5. Here we go. The first Sunday after Easter is called Holy Trinity Sunday, Pentecost Sunday, or Divine Mercy Sunday?
Divine Mercy Sunday.
It was indeed Divine Mercy Sunday. And that sound means you got all 5 of those correct, so we move on now to our bonus question, worth 25 points, and here we go. How many letters in the New Testament are attributed to St. Peter? 3, 2, or 1?
3.
I'm sorry, the correct answer on that was 2. 2 letters attributed to St. Peter. All right, at the end of round 3, Knights of Columbus, you have 200 points. Catholic Rural Life, you have 235 points, so still a very close game. It is time now for another quick time out, but before we do, I'd like to leave a question for our listening audience. True or false? The Catholic Church teaches that Mary was a virgin until the birth of Jesus, but not after. We'll give you the answer after the break. You're listening to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Today, over 1.9 million members of the Knights of Columbus defend the faith and work to build the domestic church. The Knights of Columbus, men of faith, men of action since 1882. Visit kfc.org.
Since 1919, the Ziegler family has served the community with trusted auto service and name brand products. 20 locations, 97 years, serving others. Ziegler Tire is a proud sponsor of Catholic Challenge. Find out more at zieglertire.com.
And we welcome you back to Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network. Before the break, we left you with a question, true or false? The Catholic Church teaches that Mary was a virgin until the birth of Jesus, but not after. Well, the answer is false. The Catholic Church teaches that by a special grace from God, Mary was ever virgin before, during, and after the birth of Jesus. Well, we've got a great game going here today. In fact, it is still anyone's game. Catholic Rural Life, you have 235 points. Knights of Columbus, 818. You have got 200 points. And so we move on now to our challenge round. But before we do, here's the rules.
This final round combines knowledge and speed. The first team to ring in may answer the question. If the contestants ring in before the host has finished asking the question, the host will not finish reading the question. If the answer is incorrect, no points are lost, but the other team will have the opportunity to hear the question in its entirety. Correct answers are worth 30 points each. There are 15 questions in the challenge round, and in case of a tie at the end of this round, we will have a tiebreaker question. The team with the most points at the end of this round will be awarded $200 for their organization, and will move on to the next round of competition. And the losing team will be awarded $50 for their organization.
All right, very good. Contestants, hands on your buzzers. The challenge round starts right now. Question number 1. What 2 apostles asked Jesus if he should rain down fire on a Samaritan village? Catholic Rural Life.
James and John.
Correct, you got it. Question number 2. Name of Adam and Eve's third son. Catholic Rural Life.
What is Shem?
No, that is incorrect. I apologize for that. We ask the same question now to the KFC Assembly 818, and the question is, the name of Adam and Eve's third son.
We don't have an answer for that one.
All right. The correct answer was Seth. Oh. Question number 3. What chapter of the Gospel of John contains the discourse on Catholic Rural Life?
John 15.
That's incorrect. Knights of Columbus, I will reread the question for you. What chapter of the Gospel of John contains the discourse on Jesus as the living bread come down from heaven? Need an answer from you. The correct answer was chapter 6. It was chapter 6. All right. Question number 4. It was the nephew of Abraham. He lived near Sodom and Gomorrah. Catholic Rural Life.
Lot.
You got it. It was Lot. Question number 5. What is the name of the feast we celebrate that commemorates the visit of the 3 kings to the newborn? Catholic Rural Life.
What is the Epiphany?
Correct. Very good. Your score right now, Catholic Rural Life, 325. Knights of Columbus, you've got 200. Here's question number 6. This was the name of the criminal that was released. Catholic Rural Life.
What is Barabbas? Or who is Barabbas?
Correct. You got it. Question number 7. This was the brother of Martha and Mary. Catholic Rural Life.
Who is Lazarus?
Correct. Very good. Question number 8. The king and ruler of Israel who directly succeeded King David. He was the son, Catholic rural life.
Who is King Solomon?
You got it. It was Solomon. Question number 9. Ave Maria is Latin for these, Catholic rural life.
Hail Mary.
Well done. Hail Mary. Question number 10. Jesus appeared to this French nun in 1692. He explained to her the devotion to his Sacred Heart and how to practice it. Catholic rural.
Who is Faustina?
That is incorrect. Knights of Columbus, I will reread the question and give you an opportunity to answer. Jesus appeared to this French nun in 1692. He explained to her the devotion to his Sacred Heart and how to practice it.
We don't know.
All right, the correct answer was St. Margaret Mary. And your score, Knights of Columbus, you have 200, but Catholic Rural Life in the lead right now with 445. And we continue on now with our challenge round. Question number 11. Who came first, Abraham, Moses, or David? Catholic Rural Life.
Who is Abraham?
Very good. Question number 12. This was the occupation of the apostles Peter and Andrew. Catholic Rural Life.
They were fishermen.
Fishers of men, indeed. Very good. Question number 13. Jesus took Peter, James, and John up a mountain. KFC.
Mount Tabor.
Very good. You got it. It was the mountain where he was transfigured before their eyes. It was Mount Tabor. Question number 14. The city of Masada is located at this sea. It is known for its high salt concentration. Catholic Rural Life.
The Dead Sea.
Very good. And here is our final question of the game, number 15. Here we go. When Jesus is brought to the temple as a baby, this person tells the Blessed Virgin Mary that a sword... Knights of Columbus.
Simeon.
It was indeed Simeon, and that is our game. Our final score is 535 for Catholic Rural Life and 260 for the Knights of Columbus. We do say thank you to both teams for playing. Knights of Columbus, a donation will be given to your assembly on your behalf. So Fred Kramer and Chris Eggert, thanks for joining us. We do say congratulations to Zach Laughlin and Ryan Begley from Catholic Rural Life. You now have the chance to move on to the next round, and you've also won $200 for Catholic Rural Life. Again, special thanks to our sponsors, Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, Walsh University, and the Knights of Columbus, whose generous support provides our prize money. You can go to livingbreadradio.com to follow the Catholic Challenge scores and brackets. You can also listen to an audio archive of this program. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and Twitter as well. I'm Michael Roberts, and until next time, do your part and defend the faith. We'll see you next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
This has been another edition of Catholic Challenge, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. If you'd like to be a part of the program, email quiz@livingbreadradio.com. For an audio archive of this show, or to view the current brackets, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge.